with a $2 billion trade, a $4 trillion mess, reported by no less than Jamie Dimon's own firm, J.P. Morgan Chase. Only we, mere mortals, were not supposed to see that report, and the firm's top clients, they were the ones who were supposed to see it, and only then. But somehow it slipped into one Charlie Gasparino's hands. Imagine that. I have no idea how he does this, but he did this, and now everyone's furious, at least at that firm and some in Washington, about this. Charlie's got the details. Charlie is here. Good to have you, bud. This
Great to have you, Neil.
This is more stinging than anything that came up in that conference today. Spell it out.
Well, it's real money. It's a real problem. I mean, we read about it every now and then. No one pays much attention to it, and we just let it go. It's this notion of unfunded pensions, public pensions, that are basically underwater. And they're underwater, meaning that they owe money, that the public, New York City, New York State, California, Massachusetts, they all owe money into their public pension funds. And when you add it all up, Neil, it's bigger than anything you're talking about at J.P. Morgan. We're talking about, and this is it, the irony here, J.P. Morgan put out this confidential report, which they just gave to their best customers. We got a copy of it. And in that report, it says you're talking about a $5 trillion problem. You're talking about a massive, massive problem.
And no way to pay it off, right? I mean, I guess you could raise taxes a lot. You could cut spending a lot. You could do both a lot, but it would take a lot of both to even remotely address this.
I mean, it is just, if you read this report, and I wrote about it on foxbusiness.com.
By the way, I urge all of our viewers right now, and save it for after the show, by the way, or during Bill O'Reilly's breaks, that this is incredible. This is phenomenal reporting. But get to the headlines here.
But the headlines is this. State and local governments are out there telling us, well, you know, they do have some unfunded liabilities, that they do owe money into the pot of public employee pension funds. But in total, it's to the tune of less than $1 trillion. You know, they're talking at J.P. Morgan, when they studied this, and the report came out last year, that it's 4 or 5 times that much. We're talking about $4 trillion, $5 trillion. Big bucks, and the solutions, Neil, and this is what really got me in the report. And as I said in the story I wrote, I go through what J.P. Morgan said are the solutions. They're pretty unpalatable. Massive cuts to these programs, tax increases if you want to go that way. You're basically telling state and local workers that, yes, you have to pay in just like everybody else.
Yeah, but you're right, and this report is right, and you got it before anyone. What's scary about it is Chris Christie, Scott Walker, Rick Scott in Florida, all of the stuff you guys are doing is barely scratching the surface. You're going to have to go really long, really deep.
I think some states are worse than others. I would say Chris Christie's state is one of the ones that are worse than others. New Jersey has a massive unfunded public pension fund liability. J.P. Morgan used them as an example, as a matter of fact. And one of the ways at it was, drastic cuts in spending. A tax increase, obviously, that's part of it. But, workers have to put in more money. The average retirement age has to go out. These are all things that drive, that create social strife, as you saw in Wisconsin when Governor Walker wanted to do it.
And Governor Walker was just really, in the scheme of things, digging around the surface here. I mean, the stuff that has to be addressed here is beyond that.
Right. I mean, I think he's laying the groundwork for bigger stuff. Because when you get rid of collective bargaining, we could get into that at another show, that allows you to take the steps to do what J.P. Morgan's call is asking to be done.
What's interesting about... I'm sorry, buddy, to keep doing this to you.
Go ahead.
Why wasn't this mentioned? I mean, why... I know there are some legal issues involved. They could be quite the thick wicket here. But why didn't Jamie Dimon raise this and say, you guys are all over me on this. I've got a $4 trillion bombshell for you.
Right. I just so you know, I don't know if Jamie Dimon knows about this study. I will tell you this: senior management, fairly senior management inside J.P. Morgan, chose to keep this largely secret because remember, J.P. Morgan also underwrites bonds of the same states and localities that are getting hit with this stuff, and they just don't want to anger them, and that's why they kept it largely secret. They sent it out to large clients. They didn't send it out to everybody else.
All right, I'm going to tell you, I've told you folks 1,000 times, and a lot of you just still look elsewhere. That's a reason why he is the best business reporter on the planet. He gets this stuff and humiliates and destroys so many careers in so doing. Charlie Gasparino, great job in Washington. Great job uncovering this. Just the latest.